I was frozen. I was just thinking, can I go? What am I going to do? I'm going to be so stressed out. I got to be away from my computer. We have to build in 6 hours of work time on vacation each day. What a crazy thing to say, right? At another point, I was thinking, I make more than that entire company, all those people. Why am I spending so much time having a life that doesn't make me happy, that makes me so tired and frankly, very anxious? Our first step is never going to be the best one. This is like fucking magic. He's doing it. I don't have to do it. I can live my life. I'm still making money.
Yep, that's it.
That's what actually being an entrepreneur and running a business is like. People will talk about a plan B. People will talk about what happens if you fail. People will talk about like, oh, it's so risky. I'm my plan B. I can figure it out. I can make it work. If I put my full effort and focus into this, I could do that. I just think most people are not doing the thing that they can do tomorrow. If you just do the thing you can do tomorrow, next week, next month, you get somewhere. And probably that's not where you wanted to go in the first place, but it's better fit and it makes more sense and it's, most importantly, possible.
I just finished a really interesting conversation with my good friend Pei Kuo. He went from being a wedding singer to a very well-paid tech lawyer. He hated being a lawyer, so he quit his job after only 6 months and became a dating coach. And then he decided to launch a publishing company where he has sold over 5 million books and counting. Finally, as a side hustle, he is the founder of the largest Latin dance school in Thailand. If this is something that interests you, please have a listen, like, and subscribe. Okay, Pei, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate you taking the time. I love your story. You've got at least 2 startups. Both of them are very successful, but you also have had an adventurous life. So I'm looking forward to hearing your story.
Looking forward to telling you, and thank you for having me here.
Yeah, thanks a lot. What I want to start with is where you grew up and where was that?
Yeah, so I grew up in Pennsylvania for just the very start of my life. My parents were there because my dad came to the U.S. to work on his PhD, actually. So this was the 70s, and they were out of Taiwan. The only way that you could get out of Taiwan was basically a government grant to go work on your PhD. He violated a little bit because what was typically supposed to happen is you do that, and then you bring your knowledge and your degree back to Taiwan, right? Yeah. This is like a tit for tat deal. He stayed. He stayed for almost 50 years now, so, very American. Anyway, so I grew up for the very early parts of my life in Pennsylvania, but basically I'm pretty much a California person. If you can tell by my accent, my mannerisms, California, NorCal, through and through.
Okay, so how old were you when you left Pennsylvania and moved to California?
I was 6 years old, and we left on Christmas Day.
Okay, and was this and your mom too was there the whole time, the move?
Yeah, so the family unit was me, my mother, and my older brother, 6 years older than me.
And so the whole family moved there, you're 6 years old.
Yeah.
And so you kind of more or less grew up in San Francisco.
I grew up in Silicon Valley. And the reason for that is because, well, I can trace it through my dad, right? And then I think when I tell you a little bit about him, things will kind of click on me, right?
Yeah.
So he came to the U.S. from Taiwan to do his PhD at age 22, 23-ish in physics, hard physics, no less. He went to work at Bell Labs with a couple of Nobel Prize laureates, like in physics. So like very high intellect, EQ. Not sure.
Not as high.
There's a tit for tat.
Yeah, I can see
Nothing's free, And then what happened was that he was working on something at Bell Labs. He decided to turn that into his own company, took it to Silicon Valley to raise funding, from venture capital back in the day in the 90s. Yeah. So what ended up happening there was he raised about 60 to 70 million back in the day. So this
through VC?
Through VC funding, through some of the biggest venture capital firms in the world at that point. And
that's big money then.
It's big money then, big money today. And then he, because he was doing hardware, semiconductors, right? So that's a lot of production money that's needed.
Yeah.
That's kind of his origin story. And, growing up, I obviously didn't really know what was going on, but I saw that things were happening. He was working hard. He was coming late at night. He had a very, let's say, generously a strict standard on how to do things and how to achieve. So It tells you something about me.
Yeah, and was mom stay at home or working also?
Mom was the kindest soul ever. She stay-at-home mom. And then when I went off to university, she started working as a special education teacher. What happened with that was that actually she pushed me into this. She pushed me into a few things when I was a kid, right? She pushed me into Boy Scouts. I'm an Eagle Scout now.
Okay.
Yeah. And then she pushed me into volunteering with autistic kids since I was about 14 years old. So I did that from 14 to 18. And she started joining me. And then after I graduated from high school, she just thought, well, I have all this extra time on my hands now that this scoundrel is out of my hair, so I can go turn this experience into a job. So that's what she did.
And your brother was doing similar steps as you or before you, or was he doing something totally different?
Yeah, my brother is 6 years older. So to be honest, I think we just didn't really overlap in terms of experience. He left when I was 11. When he was 17, he went to Cal Berkeley. He only got my annoying side, He left just when I was starting to get interesting, so we did not overlap that much in terms.
And then where did you go? To college?
I went to college at UCSD, UC San Diego.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what was the major?
Oh my God, I haven't thought about this in so long. So what happened was I studied clinical psychology. I have a BS in that. And what that means is we were doing a lot of experiments on social behavior. For example, we would call people into our laboratory and then we would observe them just interacting with each other, or we would observe them taking a survey and then just note down what was happening in terms of, what we thought was going to happen versus what the actual behavior was. There was also an autism lab that I was a part of. So I actually carried that from high school into college as well. But clinical psychology.
Clinical psychology. In this college, you knew you were going to get that degree or wanted that degree?
Oh, God. I would say I fell into clinical psychology because, let me ask you, what's the reputation of psychology majors in the U.S.?
They're crazy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, also it's an easy major, right?
Easy. Okay.
It's an easy major,
Hence
easy classes.
Why I got the same degree.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We're both crazy and easy.
Yeah.
Well, we figured it out.
The quickest, not the quickest, but the path of least resistance for me was a degree in psychology.
So I didn't really know what I was going to do going into university. I kind of settled on clinical psychology because it seemed like an easy thing to do. When I was graduating, I still didn't really know what I was going to do, because I did what's called the corner office test, right? You look at the corner office of the people that's going to become you. You look at the people beside you, look at the people above you. You think, do I want to become that person? I looked at all of them. Instantly, I was like, no, that's not for me. So I knew I had to change, but I just, I did complete my degree in that.
Then there was a decision somewhere to be a singer. Is that right? How soon after that you became a wedding singer?
I was a wedding singer for a period of time, yeah.
How long were you a wedding singer?
Actively doing it, only about 6 months, but that's because I was doing that when I was in law school.
Okay, so that came later.
That came later.
Okay, so that's very interesting. So you finished college, and then what was the break there between college and law school?
So after I graduated from college, I think it's a very familiar thing that a lot of us feel a little bit lost. We don't know what to do. So what I did was I decided that I was going to go to law school. Great default. My parents didn't even have to force me. And then I took the LSAT, which is like the law school entrance exam, so I took that at the beginning of the year. What happens is you have a whole extra year to apply and then get accepted and then get ready and then start law school.
Yeah.
So during that period, I was a personal trainer because my logic was I'm going to be using my brain and studying so much during law school. I'm just not going to use it at all for this year. Okay. So that's why I went to the gym.
So get physical, get healthy, fit.
Yeah.
And LSAT, did you do well? Was it easy for you?
I did okay.
Okay.
I wouldn't say my forte in life has been academics.
Academics. How were the grades in high school?
Grades were good because high school, I think if you just show up and do your best, it's not really that difficult. Okay. Honestly. In college, after I switched to psychology, it's a 4.0.
Okay. So
it tells you something about psychology, not me.
Yeah, so that was a lot. Well, that was an easier path. And you enjoyed it, I think.
It's when people find out about what I'm doing these days, and I'm sure we'll get into that later, it's they always ask me, did you study this in university? And I think, of course, that always made sense because this is the type of thing that leads to this type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Psychology is interesting. And so you basically were spending a whole year working on yourself fitness-wise, going to the gym. Law school's about to start. How many places did you apply to?
Oh, God. I think I only applied to the UCs, to be honest, because I just wanted to stay in California. I know it seems a little bit contrary to my story now, but, when I was applying for university, I only applied to the UCs. When I was applying to law school, only the UCs. I just wanted to stay in California, never really wanted to travel, never really wanted to have my own business. Something went wrong here.
Yeah, so you didn't really have any specific plan whatsoever.
Nope.
No, yeah. So that's interesting because I have friends that have a long plan and a path and they know what it is long in advance and that's where they go. You had no plan.
Yeah.
And then law school, your parents didn't push you to go to law school, but they must have been happy or proud that you were going to law school, I imagine.
I think they were probably secretly overjoyed inside. But what I later found out by talking with my parents about this type of stuff is that they really tried hard to give me space and freedom to, number one, make my own mistakes. I made a lot, and then to basically make my own decisions.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Chinese in them was like, we got one.
Yeah.
We got a lawyer. We're good.
We got one. And were you looking forward to starting law school? Was it like something you were like, can't wait? Or were you like, how was it?
That statement does not resonate with me at all. No, it wasn't really something that I looked forward to. It was just something that I felt like I had to do.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I feel like what pushed me into law school was my peers.
Okay.
So I grew up Silicon Valley. To be specific, I grew up in Cupertino. If you have Apple Maps, there's an 85 on the symbol, right?
Okay.
That's right next to where I grew up.
That's pretty good.
That's the 85 highway. So I grew up driving past Apple, right? So you can imagine the types of people that I'm surrounded with from childhood.
Yeah.
It's like Apple executives, Apple executive kids. So my peers were basically at that point, right out of college, they're all funding companies or, engineers making mega dollars already, or in medical school or also in law school. So I actually felt a lot of peer pressure to keep up with them, and it didn't really come from my parents too much.
Yeah, that's good. So it was peer pressure, but also self-motivated, sort of.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, and so where did you go to law school?
I went to law school at UC Hastings, which is in San Francisco in the Tenderloin.
Okay, so you're in law school now. First year comes along. What's it like?
Hated it.
Hated it. Okay.
Hated so much.
Right out the gates.
Immediately.
What did you hate about it?
Oh, I hated everything. When I started to understand the class structure, when I started to understand the actual work involved, when I started to understand that I had to read a case this thick, a case study, right? A case study this thick, and then some people really loved it, and I just realized, wow, we are not the same type of people.
Yeah,
we're not the same.
But then you stuck it out 3 years, right?
I was this close to dropping out every single year.
Yeah.
I explored that with the admissions office every single year. I was like, what had happened? What would my tuition be if I get reimbursed this? And then what are my particular career paths looking like?
Wow. So
every year
you were just kind of like on the fence.
Yeah.
But you stuck to it. It was a grind. It must have been.
It was a grind. It was a hustle. But, what's really interesting is within that, I found that basically I mentioned before, right? Academics were never really my strong suit. Yeah. I found out that there's lots of ways to get things done. There's lots of ways to get from here to here. There's lots of things to get what you want, right? So I ended up focusing on the other things besides academics, which I could control better. So to me, that was going to be communication skills, networking skills, how I showed up, my effort. Basically, my law school experience and my early lawyer career boiled down to, if I can meet you in person and if I can make you like me, you're going to give me a job.
Okay. So yeah, you were kind of prepared socially.
Yeah.
Very well. Yeah, I can see that. Just by meeting you and talking to you, we've had conversations, and you're very easy to talk to.
Thanks.
So
you too.
Then law school finishes. What happened after that?
Oh, what happened after law school? Then when law school finishes, everyone studies for the bar. They take the bar, they pass, and then they start practicing. I did that. So I passed the bar, and then I
First try?
Second try.
Second try? Okay.
Second try.
Okay.
And then what happened was I hated it even more.
You hated taking the bar, or just hated Well, you're done now, so you've got to be relieved.
Everything about it.
It sucked.
Yeah. So the thing about practicing law that people probably will not tell you is it's like doing homework for 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
You're reading, you're researching, you're writing, you're editing, you're replacing something, you're scribbling something out.
Yeah.
It sounds like a nightmare to some people. I'm one of those people. Some people get off on it, you know?
It's clearly not for you, but you also get paid a lot of money for that.
Yeah, that's true. I got paid a lot of money to wither away in my cubicle for that year. And, I very quickly realized, money is not it. Prestige and status is not it. What matters is actual happiness, being excited to wake up and feeling some sort of fulfillment in what you spend most of your time doing, which for most of us is going to be work.
Yeah, it's interesting. Huh? There's a lot of lawyers, and they seem to be okay with it.
I think when we talk more, a theme that will come out is that I have a very low tolerance for things that I don't like.
Yeah, discomfort or something that's not very pleasurable or enjoyment.
For me, yes.
Yes.
I have a very low tolerance to that.
You will jump ship quickly. Okay, so you got this. You passed the bar. You got a job. Did you apply at a lot of places for work or for employment at a law firm, or how many places did you apply to?
I didn't need to apply because what was happening for 3 years during law school, I was constantly emailing people, taking them out. So these are like 50-year-old attorneys that I was taking out for like coffee or dinner or whatever. Of course, you have to make that extra effort. And this is called an informational interview. So it's like, hey, you're doing something interesting in your law practice that I'm kind of interested in. Can you talk to me? I'm a law student. Please help me. So I did that. I did like so many of those for over 3 years. And then by the end of that, I had job offers.
You had a huge network of lawyers.
Huge.
This was you already networking. Did you know you were networking? Because that's kind of what you were doing there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it. I knew that this is going to be my way into whatever I wanted because the grades were not going to be it.
Okay. And so that was pretty easy to get that job. And you started working there within a year or 6 months, was it, that you're like, this is absolutely not for me?
Oh, I don't know, a few weeks.
Wow. So you grinded it out for a whole year, though.
Well, what's the definition of grinding it out? So I was there for a whole year. That's true.
Okay. All right. You were acting busy, looking busy, but not being really busy.
Shuffling papers, doing a little quick walk from place to place.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay. And at that point, you're like, all right, you're thinking about quitting. Was that a difficult decision? Like, I'm out of here. How?
Yeah, I think this is a very interesting point, actually. This was one of the easiest decisions of my life.
Yeah.
So basically what happens, right, is I have 3 years of law school, hate it, almost quit every single year. Then I'm studying for the bar, take the bar. I start practicing law. Within a few weeks, I hate it. Okay. And then I'm just like, maybe I'll get used to it. Maybe there's a breaking in period. Maybe I'm on probation, like mentally, whatever. At about 6 months, what starts happening is that I just start looking for a way out, right?
Where's my exit? Get me out of here.
Absolutely. I'm looking for an exit plan. So that's when I started looking into writing and publishing, freelance writing at first of all, because since I was a kid, I've always just loved books. I was just in the library, just getting stuck there as a kid.
So what year is this now that you start looking for freelance work?
2012, I guess.
2012. Okay.
2012, 2013, that area.
Okay, so this is where you start to learn how to just write for other projects, for other people?
Yeah, so the story of that is basically I had some friends that were doing some dating stuff. By dating stuff, I mean they were dating coaches. And they had these blogs. Back in the day, we had blogs. They are always needing content written by humans, not AI anymore, right? Yeah. I had been freelance writing, for these other people, basically just around my orbit. I was in San Francisco, right? So people were doing things. People were dating coaches, they're travel bloggers. Everyone had their own normal job, and then they had a side hustle. Everyone. That's just the culture in San Francisco. So, of course, when I was a lawyer, I started looking elsewhere to basically find my escape path. What happened is that one guy, kind of an influencer back in the day, he sent out this like bulletin post or a message that was like, I have a friend that's writing about online dating. He's looking for a collaborator. Is there anyone else out there? So what I had been doing on the side when I was a lawyer was I had been writing people's dating profiles, both paid and for money.
Wow. So, and this was on like Match.com back then, or?
Yeah, you got the right era, right? So it's Match.com, it's eHarmony, and it's OkCupid.
So these are people that are like, Pei, can you help me? Or did you offer? Or how did that even happen?
It's both. So you start by, it's like a crack dealer, right? You give them a little taste, and you're like, here's a good profile. You know, here are these specific points. Here are these good hooks. What you wrote about, you know, going out for, you can go out at night or you can stay home like everyone. Stop that. Or you like to go hiking? Thank you. No, everyone does. So I wrote them a good profile. I helped them select pictures. And some people, I helped them take pictures. Oh, I have to say this I have to give credit for myself. There are 4 people that met from profiles.
And they're married.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done.
Right, thank you. Anyway, so I was doing this on the side. So we got put in touch with this, you know, I got put in touch with this guy. And then what I realized was, you know, he sent me over his manuscript. I took a look through it. I realized it was terrible. It was just garbage. And I realized that part of his success, his so-called success in online dating, he's like a very tall white guy.
Okay.
So, okay, just show up, man.
That helps. But he's a terrible writer.
I mean, he had just punctuation and grammar and spelling mistakes just everywhere. And I was like, how, you think this is going to work for me? We have a very different approach, my man. Yeah. So that's the type of thing where you see something, you see someone has this like kind of irrational confidence, right? And then you think, oh, you see that someone has this irrational confidence, you see what their work product is, and you think, oh, I can do better than that.
Yeah.
That's where my first book came from.
So that was the inspiration for your first book. And what was the title of that book?
Oh, God. Cringeworthy these days, but I think it's something like The Gentleman's Guide to Online Dating.
Okay, that sounds, not so romantic or sexy.
No.
But this is your first book, and you published it where?
It's on Amazon.
On Amazon.
Still on Amazon.
Still on Amazon. How many of those have you sold? That one?
Thousands.
Thousands. Unbelievable. And how did that feel? Did you all of a sudden realize, wait a second, was there traction quickly? Like, this is working?
Immediately.
Bam. Like,
immediately.
You couldn't keep the books on the shelf enough fast.
Digital shelves, but yeah.
Yeah, that's it. They just print as you go.
Absolutely.
And so you're all of a sudden making a little bit of money doing that quickly.
So, right. What happened, you know, what started from this kind of funny hobby, you know, I was thinking maybe I'll stay in law. I'm looking for a way out, but I'm going to stay for now until I have something secure. And I was like, this book is going to be a funny little thing on my resume, right? It's going to be like, oh, this guy is an interesting, quirky lawyer. Until 3 months in, I start making $500 a month from that.
Okay.
So I think, what if I just do more of those?
And while you're making that $500 a month, you're still working at this law firm, or you're out of this law firm already that you were working?
I'm still there.
You're still there.
I'm still there for another 4 months.
Still there suffering, but now you got a little interesting side hustle that all of a sudden just works.
I'll tell you what, I got a light at the end of the tunnel, you know?
Yeah.
I see an escape path that I can take, and it's, you know, kind of viable.
Yeah, that must have been comforting though.
It was amazing. And what was more amazing about it, now that I think about it, is that I was writing these books from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., you know, basically after my full-time lawyer gig was done for the day. But I was so excited to go home and write until this late, and I just couldn't stop writing. So that really shows me how much interest I had in escaping.
Yeah, like these are life pivots.
Yeah.
Basically, you had tech lawyer, dating coach, publisher. And was there matchmaking in there too somewhere? Is that talk about your matchmaking? Was this another little business, or was this just for friends, or who are you matchmaking?
As soon as I wrote that book, and then I started to become a little bit more known in San Francisco for writing people's profiles, word spreads. So basically, I got connected to the owner of Talkify, which is it's a matchmaking company based in San Francisco. Have you heard of it?
Never heard of it.
Okay.
And they reached out to you. So what that means is you're publishing this book under your real name.
No, I'm using another name. I have a, kind of a range of pseudonyms, pen names.
So that first book was under who?
Patrick King.
Patrick King. Yep. I'm familiar with Patrick King. Okay.
I'm pleased to hear. They reached out, and we set up a meeting. Things were going well for a while. One of my clients was One of my clients was one of the founders of YouTube.
And you're helping him with his dating profile?
Yeah, well, it wasn't even a dating profile because it's matchmaking, right? So what happens in the matchmaking process, you meet this person, you listen to basically their laundry list of what they want, you read their energy, you get a feeling for them, you try to understand who they are as a person, and then you think, where can I find that person? So to be honest, at the end of the day, matchmaking is kind of like a headhunting thing. It's recruiting, right?
Right.
And then, I don't want anyone to take offense to this, but what ended up happening was I would find these people great matches, but they didn't like my clients for, various reasons. But I just kind of realized that,
Who did not like your clients? Who?
The matches.
So the matches. So you're trying to match somebody with this person. You think this gal is a good fit, but no, it's just not exciting to them or something. And that's...
Yeah, well, what happens when you have people of very high net worth that are working with matchmakers, they're not that realistic.
Right.
They probably don't understand themselves that well. They don't understand relationships that well. For example, the founder of other companies that have high net worth, he would come to me with this huge list of things. And then he would say like, oh yeah, like she can't have like chubby hands. I'm like, where are we going with this? Where are we going with this?
Nitpicky.
Yeah. So can't relate to that at all. Anyway, so what would happen is I would find a girl, skinny hands, so slim, but she wouldn't like him.
Yeah.
For various reasons, right? So we ended up just realizing that while these people actually need a lot more coaching than the matches themselves,
So these high net worth individuals, how much are they paying for the service?
Not as much as you'd think, and maybe that's where the problem was. They're paying around $600 for 2 dates a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
And these 2 dates are presumably somebody you set them up with, but they may not even go on that date because they're like, no, I don't like her before they even go on a date.
They go.
They go.
Okay. It's they are net worth. They are super high net worth, but they are, lonely, I guess, as a victim of their own success. So what's also very fun about that process is I get to design the date.
Okay.
Yeah, very cool, right?
Okay.
So my typical thing was like, you go to this place in, I think it was near one of the piers in San Francisco. Okay, here's a challenge. You find this, and then you go to a picture booth. You take a picture, like sticky pictures?
Yeah.
And you take these pictures, you send them to me, and then I will direct you guys to go somewhere else, and they don't know the agenda beforehand.
So they're like on a scavenger hunt, sort of?
Scavenger hunt, or they're just being led around,
Wait, sticky picture. Explain that. What is
Okay, it's a Japanese thing, right?
Okay.
It's like you take these pictures, and then it's like the ones where you go like this.
Okay.
And then you can edit yourself to be like Hello Kitty.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they print out, and they're just in little stickers. You can stick them anywhere.
And then they send that to you, you said, or
just like text me that you did it or something, because this is back in the day that not everyone had a camera phone.
Right.
Yeah. And then go here, order these things, talk about these 3 questions. That's it. So date design was a really fun part of it.
Okay, so you enjoyed the date design, but it sounds like you said that these guys really needed more help in like the personal side of their lives, or like they just needed more dating coaching as well.
Yeah, I think. Well, nothing's free, right?
Yeah.
So you have this amount of success. There is a sacrifice for that.
Yeah.
You have someone who makes a lot of money, who's so good at work, who's like a, prototypical engineer in Silicon Valley. Yeah, they're over-indexing on this stuff. They're probably neglecting other stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. And so how long were you doing the matchmaking?
Yeah, that was for about, I want to say 8 months.
8 months. And
yeah.
What happened? You quit? Left?
I got bored because I was like, I'm finding these people, men and women, actually. I'm finding these people, great people. With a few of them, I went shopping with them to try to like help them with the wardrobe and things like that. I was not paid for that, but I was like, these guys need it.
You saw the need for that. And so you're like, I will help.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
These guys showing up to me like a Silicon Valley engineer in a hoodie and flip-flops, right? I'm like, we need to change something here. This image is not working for me.
And then the girls, what was the challenges from the girls' side that you were getting?
Very nitpicky, even more than men.
After 8 months, you're like, I'm out of here. What's the next move?
So the next move is to double down on scaling my books.
Okay.
Right.
So you see the publishing side has got something potential there. So what's the next book? There you had the first one, quickly had success.
Yes.
What was the second book?
Second book was something about dating also. The first few were about dating. To be honest, it was just because I was in that like arena already, and then I already had a lot of content. I already thought about it a lot.
So it was easy for you to actually write these books.
It just comes out of me.
Yeah.
It just came out of me because I was also doing the matchmaking stuff, right? So, and then I was designing dates, and I was like, oh, there's a system here. There's a system to this. There's a system to that. And I just wrote about it. It just came out of me and it flowed out of me. So the beginning few books were all kind of about dating. But you know, it's good and it's bad. So the good part is you build a brand authority. Like I was becoming kind of known in that arena online. The bad part is that actually it's about the content itself. I would just start getting these emails like from these guys, right? Like blah, 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 blah. It would be this long of an email and it'd be like, what do I do now? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
So
I'm not your
step-by-step help with the moves.
Or what do I text her? She said this. Or like, there's this girl I want to talk to in the gym. Like, what do I do? I'm like, is this what I'm doing now?
Wow. So they need help constantly.
Hand holding, right?
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
And so what do you tell them? What do you do?
Well, I told them, you know, to the best of my ability what it was, but then I started getting a lot of these emails. So I'm just thinking like, what am I going to do with this? I had already written about that stuff in other books. And then I was just getting less interested because I just saw that it was kind of a limited range of things. There's a limited range of things that people wanted and that could fix them or that could help them. It's right here, right? So I wanted to broaden out and expand my own horizons because I just think if I had to keep writing about dating and like what to text a girl or like how to write a profile, my brain was going to shrink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not a lot of place to grow there. I get it. And so what was the next category for you in the publishing side?
So the next category I went into, right, that was from dating, which is this kind of subset of self-help. So I went from here to self-help, which is here. And then the part that I focused on was communication because I'd already mentioned to you the law school networking type of thing. And I was just realizing about myself, I can get pretty much whatever job I want through different ways. Yeah. So it was about communication. It was about networking. It was about how to talk to people.
Right. And so that was the next category. And before that category, you talked about the beginning income monthly was $500.
Yeah.
Okay. Did that grow quickly to a higher number eventually? Were you like able to live off of this? Or give me an idea of the numbers in the beginning.
Yeah, that grew very quickly. So I think I still have the Excel spreadsheet on my computer somewhere. It's so it was 400, 500, and then it was 700, and then it was 900, and then it just kept growing there until after 6 months, I was already at $4,000 or $5,000 a month.
So $4,000 or $5,000 a month.
And then I left law.
That was it.
That was it.
You're like, I am now making enough money doing this. Goodbye law. Goodbye law job.
Goodbye law job. And I saw that I was only starting to scratch the surface. So if I could dial in these things, if I could do these things faster, if I could hire people, well, I can do more than that.
Yeah. And this is kind of like along the lines of how you talk about your unconventional path.
Yeah.
Like this is a clear example of that. None of this was planned. It just kind of happened. You just kind of leaned into it and went with it, went forward with it. And then you kind of started seeing a wider arena.
Yeah.
And then, okay, 6 months, you're making $4,000 or $5,000. You've got a new category, communication. Are you now still writing these books yourself at that stage?
At that stage, yes, because it took me a long time to be a good entrepreneur.
Okay.
So it took me probably 4 years, 4 years before I really started to outsource in a serious way.
So for the first 3 or 4 years, you were the exclusive writer.
Oh, yeah.
And you must have been working a lot at that point.
I was working more than when I was a lawyer.
Yeah.
Way more. Yeah. So basically, a typical week of output for me would be 4,000 or 5,000 words a day.
A day.
A
Okay.
day.
How does that translate? I don't know what that means. How many pages or book? Is that a book?
Oh, yeah, sure. So basically a book at that time for me is around 40,000 words, and that's about 150 to 200 pages.
Okay, so it sounds like you would crank out a book in a little over a week.
Yeah.
That's a lot. you're typing and you're working how many hours? 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week? Higher, 70?
Yeah, probably.
70 hours a week.
Yep.
But now you're working for yourself. You're clearly enjoying this more than the law job.
Oh, I love it. It's so motivating to build something for yourself from nothing. It's like you feel like it's your baby, so you want to nurture it, you want to caress it. But I do remember that time being very stressful for me, obviously, because I do remember that time being very stressful for me to the point where I was looking at my planner and I had to force myself to socialize twice a week. Because, as a business owner, right? Anytime you're away from your computer, you're away from the business, there's money, there's opportunity cost.
Yep. You don't want to miss out on that. And so you're wearing all the hats. You talked about I was not a good entrepreneur. Okay?
Yeah.
So expand on that. What did you learn? How do you become a good entrepreneur? What does that mean?
Well, I have a very good exposure to all this now because I had a business coach, which turned me into a bad one to a good one.
Yeah. So this was, I guess, the aha moment was for you on a trip to New Zealand. Is that kind of right?
That's right.
So you refresh my memory on this. You had a 2 or 3 week trip to New Zealand.
Yeah.
You were looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But you're still working remotely full time. You're like, okay, how are you going to enjoy this trip if you have to work 60, 70 hours a week?
That's right.
There's no chance.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
So did you go on that trip to New Zealand?
I went. So that was my first meaningful hire, basically. I was thinking, okay, I have 20 days in New Zealand. We're going to go up and down the entire length of the 2 islands. We're going to have some fun. I was with my girlfriend at the time. And then I was frozen. I was just thinking, can I go? What am I going to do? I'm going to be so stressed out. I got to be away from my computer. We have to build in 6 hours of work time on vacation each day. What a crazy thing to say, right? Yeah.
That's hard to manage or enjoy at least your trip. That's not a trip anymore.
That's when I made my first meaningful hire, which is basically a writer, right? Obviously going to be a content writer for my books. He was okay. But at the time for me, it was such a revelation, right? Because I was thinking, this is like fucking magic. He's doing it. I don't have to do it. I can live my life. I'm still making money.
Yep, that's it.
That's what actually being an entrepreneur and running a business is like.
That's it.
I wasn't doing that.
No, yeah. The challenges for entrepreneurs is they do not know often how to make themselves redundant.
Right.
And the key, I think, is to be able to make yourself as redundant as possible and not try to wear every hat, not try to do every job.
Right.
It's kind of like, I'm Superman.
Yeah.
Nobody can do it as good as me. So I'm the only one that can do it. I'm never going to bother teaching somebody because how can I, so it's a big leap.
I could have had a poster with that on my wall. It was the same exact sentiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you hired this first person, but how was this first hire? Like, this is a big step. My first hire.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I was concerned, he was fucking magic. Looking back in hindsight, he was okay. He was just okay.
Yeah.
But that's a step, Yeah. We're never going to get on the right. Our first step is never going to be the best one.
Yeah.
So it's just,
Then the next hire, who was that? How was that person after that?
That was another writer, but she was worse.
Okay. When did you get your first solid staff or solid employee?
About 5 years ago now. So that
5 years ago.
It took me probably 1.5 years to 2 years to find the writer that the writers that I'm actually still working with these days, many years later. And that's just because for me, there are steps to learning how to hire, how to evaluate people, how to interview people, how to understand if someone can work in a system, can communicate. These are all things that, again, I just did not possess these skills as an entrepreneur.
Isn't that interesting that you actually had to be the HR guy?
Yeah.
You were the
right.
boss, you were the writer.
That's right.
You were the marketer. Yeah, I mean, everything was you. So now you're learning how to hire and interview people.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
What a thing that I thought I'd never do in my life.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
So now you're hiring staff. All right, so it took a while to get somebody really good.
Oh, yeah.
And then what happened? Was that like a magical thing for you to get that person working for you?
Oh, that was like real magic. The other one was like David Copperfield, This one was like real fucking magic. It's like you give them something, They take ownership. They're responsible. They communicate. They get back to you on their own deadline. Amazing. And the work product is good.
Yeah.
Better than mine.
Yeah, your first star
Yeah.
employee.
Yes.
Is she still around?
She's still around.
Oh, yeah.
She sent me a wedding invite.
Okay.
I did not go.
Was it through your matchmaking skills that she met her? No?
No.
Okay.
She did her own way.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, currently, how many staff do you have?
Now I have a bunch of contractors.
Okay.
Yeah, about 6.
6. All
Yeah.
independent contractors?
All independent contractors.
Any
Yeah.
employees at all?
No, but I do work closely with 2 of them because I have 2 assistants.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they're handling a lot of the workload. And yeah, so this is really interesting. So now you've been in business for how many years?
12 years.
So 12 years. What's the annual revenue like now?
I think last calendar year was about 5 million revenue.
5 million annual revenue. Okay,
Yep.
Congratulations. It's very good.
Thank you.
And that means you're publishing how many books annually or selling how many books annually, roughly?
I don't count it that closely anymore, to be honest.
Okay.
But I do know that I've sold over 5 million books. A few months ago, I counted up how many books per month. It's something like 80, 90,000.
90,000 books per month.
Yeah, that's just through online channels. So the other channels that I sell through, they're through foreign publishers. So for example, we're in Thailand, we're in Bangkok, right? You walk into any big bookstore here, you can find probably 15 to 20 of my books.
Under the pen name Patrick King?
Many.
Many how many
different ones.
How many pen names do we have here?
4 main ones.
4 main ones.
Yeah,
Okay. And so how many countries are your books being sold in?
Almost 40.
40 countries.
So that's 40 different languages.
Okay. I came across one that I thought was an interesting title, 45 Methods to Captivate People, Make a Powerful Impression, and Subconsciously Trigger Social Status and Value by Patrick King.
What a title.
Yeah, brilliant. And it's 130 AED, which is, what is that?
Oh, how much is that?
Arab, it's like Arab Emirates currency. I think it's like 35 US maybe or something like that. Does that sound?
Wow.
It's a hardcover book or something?
Sure, yeah, I have
Okay.
those.
You don't even know anything about that book, do you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
So you
Don't
have
know.
these books that are written on a lot of behavior. Is that right?
It's a lot of social behavior, psychological behavior. Basically, why do people do the things that they do, right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. And so how much time are you spending per week on your business?
These days, if it's a busy week, 15 hours.
Okay. Slower
Yeah.
week?
Slow week, 8.
8. Are you happy with that range? Do you want to get it lower? Do you want to keep it at that?
I'm very happy with that range. I'm on a rate right now where there's still growth, but I don't have to put that much time into the growth.
Okay,
Right.
and-
So that's, yeah.
And it is growing year on year. What percentage rate typically?
Oh, I actually don't know.
You don't
I don't keep track of that very
Okay, so
closely.
you're not watching the numbers that closely then.
No.
But it's doing well. You got a bookkeeper, an accountant that's watching those numbers or
I have a
somebody?
bookkeeper. I do file my taxes.
Yep.
I have an agent. We're all good. We're
You
set
have
up.
an agent.
Of course.
What does that mean?
Okay, yeah. So I have a literary agent, which means that when I get inquiries about from, for example, Macedonia or Hungary,
Okay.
Hojvaj,
Okay.
Hungary, I have so many books in Hungarian, right? What happens is that they contact my representative, who's the literary agent, and they ask, "Hey, can we buy these Hungarian language rights?" Yeah.
Interesting.
So blah blah blah. We have a negotiation. I say, I say I want more money, and they're like, okay, fine. And then they purchase the rights. So that means that in Hungarian bookstores, you can also see probably 10, 15 of my books.
So Patrick King is a name in Hungary and Macedonia and
Many countries. Yeah.
okay. So you now have this business that's self-sufficient almost completely. Like it's running itself. It's requiring a little bit of time on your own. Is this where you began traveling more or became the nomad, or was this before? Like, how did that happen? Was the nomad part that you lived in so many different countries? When was
Yeah.
that? Was that before or after this?
It was kind of simultaneously, to be honest, which is interesting, right? Because you figure I'm working so much, how can I find the time to travel? And basically what happened was I would go to these cafes in different countries and just do that, just work all the time. So, and then I would try to take some weekends off, but it was a lot of work in different countries and different cafes. But, to answer your question more directly, that happened because I realized that I was remote. I didn't need to be in San Francisco. Prices were going higher. I had backpacked through Europe for the first time. I had met a girl in Budapest, and that's where I went.
Okay, Hungarian gal.
Hungarian.
Okay, and then you stayed in Hungary. How long did you live there?
About a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you picked up a lot of the language over there.
Only a little bit.
Just a little bit.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think we talked much about this, but I want to understand or learn a little bit more about your business coach.
Sure.
Chris Sparks.
Chris Sparks. Yes.
Okay. This guy came along, or you found him, or you met him, or how did that happen?
I found Chris because there were a few blogs at the time that I followed of like just generally smart people, and then they had recommended him. So basically a referral, sort of like this third-party referral where they vouched for him. I liked that person. He seemed above board. And then I had a consultation call with him. Felt like I was being coached already, So that was the easiest money I spent in my life.
And how did you know that you wanted a business coach? What was the motivation or inspiration behind that?
Yeah, I think that people are forced to change and forced to look in themselves and understand that they need to change when they reach rock bottom.
Okay.
Right. So what happened, this happened when I was living in Taiwan. I was going to this co-working space called The Hive. Actually, there's also a Hive in Bangkok, not far from here. Anyway, I was going to the co-working space. Me as one person, right? I was just sitting here, and then here's maybe an office of 10 people, Taiwanese company. I would get there at 9, and I would leave at 7:30. Okay, there's people in this company. I would be there before them. I would be there after them. At some point, I was unhappy, obviously. But at another point, I was thinking, I make more than that entire company. All those people. Why am I spending so much time having a life that doesn't make me happy, that makes me so tired and, frankly, very anxious? Because there's just so much background pressure that comes with it, right?
And you're making a lot of money at the same time, but you're just sacrificing 100% of your time.
And then I see these people who are making a fraction of my income, just right next door to me, like laughing, eating cake, going out to boba. Like I was like, well, something's missing here for me. I am not doing it right.
Yeah.
So this is one of those times where it was just like magic again, right? So the first magic was my first hire. The real magic came with my good hire. The third piece of magic that came with my business coach, Chris Sparks.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I reached out to him. What happened was basically we worked together for about 3 months, completely changed my life.
That's amazing.
Completely changed my life. I would not be where I am without him. The way that it changed my life was that he understood that I did not have organized systems. I couldn't accurately predict what I was going to do the next day, let alone the next week, the next month. I didn't have anything quarterly. I didn't have any annual goals. I was just functioning like a high-paid freelancer, right? This is why I continue to say I was a very bad entrepreneur for a very long time. What he introduced to me was a lot of strategic planning, systems, SOPs. Up until that point, I had never written an SOP. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so this guy was transformational.
For me.
How much did he charge you?
Oh, he charged me about $4,000 for 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably the best investment you've ever made.
Oh, the ROI is tenfold. Yeah. Yes.
Incredible. Okay, so Chris Sparks changed your life. It was transformational. How many years ago was that now?
5 years ago.
5 years ago. Okay, so now you're 5 years into the business after this transformational change, this like this educational, entrepreneurial path that you kind of went and really fixed your business.
Yes.
That allowed you to do a lot of traveling, I imagine. And all of a sudden now you have free time to do whatever you want. Where have you lived so far?
Yeah. So, as I mentioned before, I was in Budapest for a while. During that period of time, I was also in Spain. I was also in Spain for a few months. Taiwan took up a lot of that time. Taiwan, I arrived in right before the pandemic.
Okay.
And then basically the pandemic broke out. What happened was I was trying to domicile in Warsaw at that time. Borders shut.
Yeah.
Couldn't go back to Warsaw. Couldn't go back to the EU. So I stayed in Taiwan for 3 months. So I stayed in Taiwan for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're kind of stuck there, and you're just working full time and publishing books, busy during the pandemic.
I stayed busy, but also Taiwan, it was kind of amazing during the pandemic because we never really had a shutdown. We never had a lockdown. It took until mid 2022 for us to, for COVID to really get into the island.
Oh, so they kept it out pretty good. And the other topic I want to talk about is your life philosophy. You have this life philosophy of jump first, think later.
Yeah.
That's the anti-plan,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Well, just look at my life. Couldn't have planned any of that. It's kind of this snake kind of shape, right?
Yeah.
It's not like this. It came from the fact that I just thought it was pointless to sit on my butt and keep analyzing something when I could just try it, right? The easiest way to do that was I'm not going to analyze if I want to be a dating coach or if I want to be a publisher, if I want to write. I'm just going to try to do this thing in the next week. I just think most people are not doing the thing that they can do tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you just do the thing you can do tomorrow, next week, next month, you get somewhere. And probably that's not where you wanted to go in the first place, but it's better fit and it makes more sense. And it's, most importantly, possible. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a good philosophy. And a lot of it has to do with pursuing your curiosities and passions.
Yeah.
Did you find that it's like you're a curious person, so you kind of like delve into this direction, go into that direction, just because you're like curious?
Yeah, I guess so. I've made this joke before that my life is just like a series of continual side quests. Yeah. After I quit, actually, even before I quit being a lawyer, right? I was like a wedding singer. I was a personal trainer. I was a matchmaker. I was a writer. I was writing dating profiles, publisher. It's all this stuff that, frankly, I'm lucky to be able to, not worry about things and, just be able to try it out. So you can see from my story that there's just so many paths that I've started on or explored or like turned around on. You have the wedding singer, you have the matchmaker, you have obviously even lawyer, right? Got out of that real quick.
Dating coach,
personal trainer, all these things. I think, yeah, people will talk about a plan B. People will talk about what happens if you fail. People will talk about like, oh, it's so risky. I'm my plan B. Mm-hmm. I can figure it out. I can make it work. Yeah. That's always my belief around things. So that's why I was always just fearless to do these things, because I thought if I put my full effort and focus into this, I could do that. I can do that. I can do that.
So a lot of confidence and a lack of fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that allows you to explore and try different things that some people would just like overthink or overanalyze.
Yeah.
Analysis paralysis problem that a lot of people have. I see that where people talk about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And they think about it and they talk about it and they plan and they just never do it.
Right.
Do you see that?
Absolutely. All the time. When I was first starting out in San Francisco, people around me and my friends, they could tell I was working at a very rapid pace. I got a lot of these questions that was like, how are you so disciplined? And my response to that was, I don't even understand this question. I don't even get this. I just do this because I want to do it, and I can make myself do it. You see what I'm saying, right? Yeah. It's a completely different mindset.
And the focus is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Head down, do it, and make it happen.
Just fucking do it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about you're a digital nomad you're a digital nomad for about 4 years.
Yeah.
But at the end of those 4 years, there was a realization you had. Yeah. Something was like missing. Something was wrong. Talk about that.
So I was nomading for about 4 years. I lived in all these different places. Mentioned Budapest, mentioned
Spain.
Mentioned Budapest in Spain. But actually what was happening between those was I was picking up every 2 to 3 months, 1, 2, 3 months. I was choosing a country, flying there, flying there, flying there. Spent a lovely summer in a little Croatian seaside village one time. I would just keep doing that. I would keep moving. Until after about 4 years, and I wanted to settle down because I realized that I didn't have anyone from the past 4 years that I kept in touch with.
No real connections.
No real connections. Just shallow, hey, how are you? How's the coffee? Like, how's this co-working space type of stuff. I didn't really have any real friends from the past 4 years. And I realized, I was living a life that everyone would be envious about, right? I was making a ton of money. I was traveling where I wanted. I was flexible, in great shape, great health, all this time and flexibility, especially after I had more time due to my business coach. Wasn't happy because I just lacked community. I lacked my tribe. I lacked connection. Yep.
And then that's tough. I mean, you have everything except community. You have everything except, so you're not making any close friends.
Yeah.
What was dating like then? That's not easy either.
Well, I wasn't single most of the time.
Okay. So you had a girlfriend with you. All right.
Probably part of the problem.
And then so seeking connection became your new life goal.
Seeking connection in some way became my new life goal. You're right.
And so how did that happen? Like, what did you do? What was the decision to fix that?
I realized that I could take my focus and my energy and my motivation that I had used to build my business to 5 million revenue. I could put it towards that. So what I would do is I would have, again, like during law school, I would have so many coffee and lunch meetups, just like 4 or 5 a week, with new people. I would set KPIs for myself. I would set metrics. I had what I would call a social CRM, which is basically like, for example, I meet you, right? Noel, where did I meet him? What are some things about him? When should I contact him? When is the next time we're meeting? And like follow up, question mark?
There's a lot of engineering there.
I believe that people do everything with the same mindset that they have.
That's right.
Yeah. So if I'm going to be super focused on a business, if I'm going to be super focused on being a nomad, I am sure as hell going to be super focused on my new goal, which is to build relationships and build community for myself. So very systematized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you clearly built a community.
Yeah.
When did that really kick in? Was that kicking in Taiwan, or was that kicking in after Taiwan when you moved to Bangkok?
I believe that kicked in after I left Taiwan. What happened with Taiwan is that, so I speak fluent Chinese. You speak pretty close to fluent Hungarian, right?
Okay.
Let's drop you in Eger or Nyíregyháza. What are you going to talk to those people about? The language works, right? But you might as well be a Martian.
Yeah.
Cultural
barriers.
Cultural barrier, just the worldview. How Western you are or are not. So in China, no. In Chinese, we have this saying, right? It's the frog in the well.
Okay, I've not heard that one.
Yeah. So let's imagine this is a well, and then there's a frog trapped at the bottom here. When the frog is looking up, this is all he sees, right?
Right.
That's what he thinks the world is. Mm-hmm. So that's a very common phrase about, small countries, islands.
Inward looking, kind of narrow.
You said it, not me.
Narrow life understanding. I don't know what
you said it, not me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, something like that.
Gotcha.
So it was a little bit hard for me to find a lot of people I felt were similar to me, and also, Bangkok is 14 million people, right? Taipei, the capital city of Taiwan, it's like 3 million people. Mm. It's small. It's homogenous. It's insular. It's not very Western or English friendly.
Okay.
So it's a totally different world there.
And Bangkok you find to be much better.
Bangkok I find to be great because I realize for myself that I am going to be, wherever I go, I'm going to be moving around in these expat circles, right?
Yeah.
Bangkok expat bubble is very big.
It is big.
So that's a better place for me to hang out in.
Yeah, so much bigger expat community here for sure.
Yeah.
Let's just go back to Bangkok. You've come to Bangkok, you've decided you want to really build community, and you're getting that over here. I mean, you then decide to do a whole new business, which is your Latin dance school.
My Latin dance school.
Like, what was the inspiration behind that?
You want to know a secret?
Okay.
I just went with it.
That's it. You
Just like everything else in my life.
You didn't even think too much before. So
No.
When did you first start learning how to dance? Was it here in Bangkok?
No. I learned to dance a few years ago in Taiwan.
Okay, that's right. You started learning there.
Yep, I learned there. There's a pretty healthy community over there, pretty big. Kind of surprising, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And then what happened was I had decided that I wanted to leave Taiwan and then I wanted to move here. And what happens is that in every major city, most nights of the week, you can go out to dance, like social dance, right? Mm-hmm. So the big night at the time was a Monday night here in Bangkok. And I went out to social dance. That's where I met most of my network, like both initially and then a lot of lasting friends are just from social dance. And that's where I met my dance partner. That's where I met most of my instructors that we now hire to teach classes with us.
Okay. And how long have you had the dance school?
We've had the dance school for about 1.5 years officially, but we've been teaching almost 2 years now.
Okay. And how many students do you guys have?
Per month, over 150.
And how many teachers?
We have 10 teachers.
10 teachers. Okay.
Yes.
This is now living, breathing business that's running itself, or how hands-on are you with this business?
Well, I got to say, this one is quite different from the publishing, right?
Yes, very different.
Very different. And again, there's a point where I realized that I needed to grow with this too, because previously for about 12, 11 years, I was this online business guy. You know what online business guy doesn't have to do? Deal with people.
That's right.
So that's what I quickly learned that I had to learn how to do, and I had to become leader. I had to become a leader. I had to have leadership skills. I needed to speak better. I needed to communicate more clearly with people. Something I really loved over the past few years was stoicism, right? This concept of stoicism.
Okay.
My tattoos, everything's stoicism. What I didn't realize about stoicism is it's fucking hard when you have to deal with people.
That's right. Yeah.
I thought I was so zen, and then I encountered these. I thought I was such a calm and centered person until I really had to just bite my tongue and just listen to people vent sometimes.
That's right.
So there's a lot of self-growth in running this type of business.
Yeah, you're in the people business now. I mean, you've got.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's interesting because it is radically different than the publishing business.
Oh my God.
You're just behind a screen, and there's things just happening without you interacting with anybody.
I love it.
But now you're totally in the people business. You've got not only staff, but you've got, what do you call them? Customers? I mean,
Students.
Students. Okay,
Yes.
So you got students, and you have to be forward-facing.
Oh yeah.
With all these people, and is there even a language barrier sometimes that you're experiencing with working with some of these people?
Yeah, but I can't do anything about that.
Yeah, but that is a hurdle. You're getting over that as well, clearly.
I have to communicate in the way that works, right? You just have to figure out that what you want to say is not what's received, right? So that's another barrier to this type of this leadership thing.
Yeah, and how passionate are you about this business? Are you enjoying it as much as you enjoyed the success of the publishing company?
I love it precisely because it's a people business.
Yeah.
I don't love the publishing business for what it actually is. I love that because it's a means to an end. I can do it. I'm great at all aspects of it. It comes easy to me, and it enables my lifestyle. I'm very much of the mind, the mindset that, it's like the Tim Ferriss thing, which is the 4-hour work week, which is choose your lifestyle first and then optimize for that. Okay. That's what I've tried to do my entire life. That's great, but I can understand that choosing that lifestyle is lonely sometimes. So what I've done now, I have this people business. I feel so strongly about it. I feel responsibility. I feel belonging. I feel purpose. I feel that, what else do I have?
You have community, and that was your challenge. There was no community before. Now you have an incredible community.
Yeah. So, and then sometimes I also laugh to myself about it that, of course, someone like me, I'm just going to create it myself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you actually wanted to kind of go even beyond that, beyond the dance school. You started doing other things, your own podcast. Is that right? What is your podcast about? My podcast is a little bit different from this one. I would say it's not business focused. It's very much about a deep dive into someone's life and their
kind of like their emotional journey. We talked about the attachment styles. We talked about family of origin, childhood stuff. That stuff comes up pretty often. The word trauma comes up pretty often in my podcast.
Okay.
It's not for everyone, but that just kind of reflects where my mind's at, is that I'm interested in learning about that, possibly to think about my own.
What's the name of it?
PayPals.
PayPals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
PEI.
PEI pals.
Pals. Okay,
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah.
So you've like come up with all kinds of methods and solutions and practices to get better connection, and you've succeeded. The most recent step for you has been joining EO.
That's right.
Which is Entrepreneurs Organization.
That's right.
And I'm curious, how did that come about? What was the inspiration there?
The inspiration for me there was, this realization that, I want to stay in Bangkok. I love it here. I want to base here. I want to live here. I have a dance school. Apparently, I'm a local business owner now. I run other businesses that are pretty successful. Wouldn't it be great to find people that are similar to me? What I specifically was not looking for was other online business dudes.
Okay.
I have plenty of those in my network, and we are just living different lives at this point.
Okay.
So I really wanted to find people that are local, based here, business owners that are doing well,
Okay.
Again, it's this, you can see it as this way of me seeking, looking for my tribe.
Okay. And so just so people understand, Entrepreneurs Organization, it's a global organization, a couple hundred chapters around the world, maybe 18,000 members. And these are for business owners. And this is for people that really want to kind of improve their life, improve their business, improve their relationships, and learn from each other. Talk about your charity. You've got a charity foundation. I want to know a little bit about that, because that's another little interesting project that you began.
I have a charity foundation called Ban Books, which in Thai means house of books. Ban is house, right?
Okay.
The way it started was, there's a book fair called the Big Bad Wolf Book Fair in Bangkok a couple times a year. I was walking around. I ended up buying about 20 books for myself. And then I noticed most of this book fair is actually kids' books. And then I started looking at the price tags. It's like 100 baht per book.
Okay, which is around $2.80 US, something like that.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So, and these are brand new, nice books, like Disney branded, like about Pocahontas and stuff, right? Or Anna and whatever. So I just had this wild thought that, why don't I just buy 400 of these? And that's what I did.
Okay.
So I just bought 400, and again, it's like my lack of planning earlier. I'm going to buy 400. I think I can do something with these. I'll figure that out later. So I bought 400 books that day. I went online and I searched for a bunch of charities in Thailand. What happened, might surprise you, is that I tried to work with these charities either as a donation basis, or I wanted to also pair these books with a scholarship. What happened was these charity foundations couldn't handle that. They didn't know how to use the funds, or basically they just didn't seem very trustworthy.
Okay.
There was another one I contacted. I was asking if I could provide scholarships for their kids of X amount of dollars, like $1,000 to $2,000. They said that was too much. I was like, what? You don't want money? And then what they said was, you can instead put it towards these things. I thought, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I'm trying to do. That's not what I value.
That's not the pay way.
It's not my way.
Yeah.
They told me that they couldn't use that money, or they had no way to disperse it. I thought, what? You guys don't want this money? You guys have no way to use it? There was another charity that I reached out to with the intention of giving scholarships to, and it was going to be a scholarship of this much, and it was going to be paired with a bunch of books for these kids, right? Because for me, I figured out early on, education and literacy is what matters for me.
Yeah.
That's the cause I want to champion. What happened was they told me they couldn't use it. And then the next day, I got a video from them and some pictures of like a dilapidated house. And they were like, what about paying the rent for this person? And, that kind of upset me, because I was like, who are you? Is this real? Now you're spamming me? And is it actually going to be used for this person?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, I realized, okay, great. I'm not going to work with any of you people. I'm going to do this myself.
Okay. So you're like,
as I do.
That's it. And you just created a foundation.
Yeah.
And what do you guys do?
Yeah. So for right now, what we're doing is we're sending books to organizations, rural schools. I just sent about 400 books again to this school in Nonthaburi. What they did is really cool. They have a setup that basically you have a book passport. You get a stamp in your passport for every time you read a book. They made some of the teachers dress up as cabin crew. It's hilarious to me. And then what happens is that's going to be a traveling library. So that's going to be, those 400 books are going to be at this school one semester. They're going to go to another school. They're going to go to another rural, poor school, and it's just going to rotate until it's time to come home. And then I'll basically add more books into that library. So that's one thing we're doing. Another thing we're doing is we're focusing on one foundation called the Sorso Foundation. We organized a clothing drive for them. Got about 30 big bags and boxes for them a few months ago, focusing on some musical education for them. So this is where I've gone in. I've noticed that there's a lot of kids that enjoy the music. We bought them some instruments. I've arranged to have some singers and vocal coaches go to that site on the weekends, and we've arranged for other volunteers to go help out there. So it's kind of a wide range of things.
It's very good. And it must be something that gives you a lot of fulfillment, or gives you some satisfaction.
I get a lot of fulfillment from teaching adults how to do this.
Okay, the dance.
Yeah, so that's here. To give a kid that opportunity that I had is here.
Yeah, way higher.
Yeah, it's not comparable.
Yeah, you've definitely lived an unconventional life, and it's been really impressive. One of the parts that I find very unusual, and you've been living now in Bangkok for how long?
About 2.5 years.
2.5 years, and in those 2.5 years, you've lived full time in a hotel.
I have.
I don't know if I've met anybody who lives full-time in a hotel for multiple years.
Yeah.
In the same hotel. This is now your permanent residence. Talk about what it's like living full-time in a hotel room, in a hotel.
Well, over time, the human can get accustomed to anything, right? So now it's just home. Now it just feels like home. What I would originally see as a hotel couch or a hotel painting, that's just my home.
Yeah.
I guess the funny part about it is that there are people that have been there much longer than me.
Okay. So you're not alone there as a resident.
No, there's people that have been there for 15, 20 years.
In the same hotel.
Oh, yeah.
And they come in every day and they clean the room? Is that what's happening there? What's going on? They change the sheets too? You talked about that? It's like every day?
I have not slept in a unmade bed for 2 years.
What is that like? That is just so different.
Makes you soft.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Man.
So I got to be careful.
Can you imagine going back to law school or working in that law firm and thinking in 10 years, I'm going to be living in Bangkok in a hotel? If somebody told you that back then, what would have you said?
I'd like to watch that movie,
Okay.
Yeah, no way, but that sounds like an interesting movie.
Here's something that I find also interesting is you talked about 2 studies, okay? This was like a retirement study that talked about the average core pursuits that one should have to be happy is like 3.6.
Yep.
Okay. But the average core pursuits to be unhappy for a retiree is 1.9. Now, you're not officially retired, but you kind of live a seemingly lifestyle of being retired. Talk about those 2, that study. What about that?
Yeah, I think that type of study really became important to me after I got my business coach, because with a business coach, I was at 70, 60, 50, 40, 20 hours a week of work. He helped me so much. He changed my life so much that I had too much time.
Yeah.
So let me talk about the other study first.
Yeah.
In that study, they found that, for example, if you have under 2 hours of free time a day, you feel bad, right? You feel stressed, pressure, like, what am I doing? You have the same feeling if you have over 5 hours of free time.
Per day.
Per day. So too much free time, no direction. What am I doing? too little free time, no direction. What am I doing? So I found myself in that camp, right? I was like, I have too much free time. I'm just going like this. There's only so much I can work out. My God.
Yeah.
So I needed to find things to do. And then the other study that you're talking about, yeah, it basically says that people need things to do to keep busy, to pass the time, to have fulfillment. That's part of the reason that I started, dancing, just as a social dancer, taking lessons, and then also teaching classes here in Bangkok. I just found that it was a fun and engaging way for me to spend my time. Core pursuit, if you will.
Yeah. Got to fill your time. Okay, Pei. This was really interesting. I loved learning about your life. Thanks so much for sitting down.
Thanks.
And I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks, Pei.
Thanks.